I have this burning flame inside of me. That's what moves me. I am a risk taker, like to be challenged, and I like to overcome those challenges. That's what makes me who I am. I was making $25,000 a year, driving a Cadillac convertible. You know, for a kid that was
That's pretty impressive.
22, 23 years old, that was not bad. But I could not grow beyond that point unless I bought the business, and that was not in the cards.
So what would become a pivotal turning point in Norbert's life? He decided to launch his own company. Discovering a vacant storefront on Ventura Boulevard in Studio City.
I was focusing on expendable products, in, construction and industrial, like cutting tools, hoses, industrial hoses, construction hoses, pressure-sensitive tapes, and products like that.
He realized that navigating the LA freeway systems was not productive. So with his usual determination and optimism, he made a phone call to the old Statler Hilton. And to his amazement, he made his very first telephone sale. That
was the beginning of telemarketing. I was probably the first one to create telemarketing regarding tangible products. Created a rather explosive growth because over the phone we could go nationwide.
Where did this really strong ambition and drive come from?
I'm a believer that immigrants take a lot less for granted than everyone else. So that's one aspect that I think is important in terms of explaining the drive.
Your family, they were in business first before they moved out of Germany, so they were entrepreneurs.
Yes.
You were sort of almost had that work ethic inborn in you.
Absolutely. Because everyone wants to be successful, but not everyone is willing to pay the price.
And the price is?
The price is sacrificing your social life, working 10 to 12 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week. And when you're starting from scratch, that's what it takes.
And I have a feeling you have no regrets about that.
No, none whatsoever.
But you were able to, you know, some people seize opportunities. You were able to create opportunities.
Yes. I believe that to some extent that is true.
Through his vision, ambition, determination, combined with that burning flame, Gehr Industries was launched.
The group of companies is made up of 3 main business units. Gehr Industries, which is our original business in the electrical field, electrical products. Gehr Development, which is the real estate arm, which owns and operates multifamily residential properties in California, industrial spaces in California, and currently hotels in Manhattan. And the Gehr International, which operates only in Brazil, and it's a defense and security organization associated with some of the leading defense companies in the United States, Europe, and Israel. From missiles to communication systems to battle tanks, military electronics, intelligence systems, and all the rest. We're basically a sales and marketing organization there, and after-sales service. And we did that in association with some of the main defense companies in the world, like General Dynamics from the United States, the Boeing Company, KMW from Germany, Israel Military Industries, Israel Aircraft Industries, Astronautics Corporation of America. You know, in fact, there's very little in common between the business units. They just came about via my becoming interested in those particular fields. I just enjoy the challenge of creating a business from scratch.
Well, you really smile when you say that, by the way.
Yeah.
You enjoy that, don't you?
Because I do enjoy it, absolutely, yeah.
And you like hard work.
And I think that's really a very important key to being successful, is that you need to really like what you do if you're going to be excellent. If you're just going to be good or very good, you don't have to love what you do. But if you want to be excellent, you have to really love what you do. And I happen to love everything I do. Although I'm very fortunate, as I said earlier, to have a very great number of very capable, competent executives who help to run these companies. But I continue to be very much involved in every aspect of all of the companies.
We had the opportunity to continue our conversation with Norbert at Gehr Industries in California.
This was one of the most meaningful presents that I ever got, and I got it right at the time that I started my first company, first business. And it sort of tells the story, sums up the trajectory that I have traveled since then. Always pushing the rock, which means always facing up to challenges and overcoming those challenges. They forgot to tell me that 48 years later, I've still been pushing the rock. But being that I can't remember who it was, I don't know who to call to file my complaint. I don't mind still pushing the rock today, meaning that I still enjoy my work. And taking on new challenges is always a good thing.
While we were there, we had the opportunity to meet some of his longtime executives. And it was interesting. Each one of them had a special business relationship with Norbert before joining him full-time. Galen Ho has been with Norbert almost from the beginning. They started out together at Allied Wholesale.
Norbert was just a young man himself, starting out with a vision and a dream. And I was a young man just starting out needing a summer job. 49 years have passed, and I'm now in my 50th year, and I haven't left yet.
David Lifshitz began his business relationship with Norbert when he was at Anderson.
It was a division of Anderson that was more of a consulting unit. We did do audits for clients, but we also advised entrepreneurial companies, small companies, medium-sized companies, and some of them are large but privately owned. The common theme was that there was an entrepreneur, a strong entrepreneur usually. It took him about 6 months of courtship. But you can't say no to Norbert.
Mark Goldman served as Norbert's personal counsel for 30 years before he came on board full-time.
Most of the people that are here just started out with Norbert in a different capacity and just wanted to be here. And so that, you know, I don't think it's an accident. He's one of those people, I'm quite sure that if you took away all his assets and put him in a brand new setting, in a few years he'd have assets again. You know what I mean? And that it's not an accident. It's not by inherited wealth. It's just that he knows what he's doing.
Alfred Somek's introduction to Norbert came when he was working at a property management company, and that's when he started to manage some of Norbert's properties. So tell me a little bit about the hotel, because he landed in Times Square as a young man when he first came to the United States. And now he has hotels there, so that's a pretty interesting full circle.
It is interesting, and actually it's interesting, the one night Norbert and I decided in New York, we were looking at different sites, and there was one site we were looking at in particular that we went over to, and Norbert said, I want to see the first hotel I've stayed at. So we went searching all over the Times Square area, and we actually found it. There was a big plaque. It was called the Times Square Hotel. And you should have seen him. He was beaming when he took a look at that sign and said, I can't believe this is here.
Each of these executives have solid reasons for their longevity and their special relationship with Norbert.
Works with us to lead us in the sense that he gets in the trenches with all of us, puts in long hours, sets the example of good work ethics, and is a good teacher, self-driven man. At the same token, he is very loyal to employees, who have given to them all their lives. And he's also very concerned about their welfare and will reciprocate anytime that he can if he can help them out.
Just a great man, and you feel that way about him, and so it's easy to be loyal. And he's also sort of like a father figure, too, where he just takes care of people. He loves business, and it's a challenge. Over a period of many years, I've said to him, why are you doing this? Or why are you even taking risks? Why are you going to go buy another hotel? Or why are you going to do this? But because I think his answer, and I'm probably paraphrasing, but his answer was, because that's who I am. So it's in his genetics, really, that this is what he does, this is what he enjoys, this is what he loves, and he just wouldn't be the same person.
He's one of the few people that dreams about things and makes it happen. He's a champion of everything, anything that he wants, and he's so focused, and he's a mentor. He teaches.
One word to describe Norbert.
One word? Driven.
Tenacious is one of the key words that comes to mind. I've seen him in situations where many other people would have given up, and he keeps going. Whether it's in business, whether it's negotiation for anything, whether it's personal asset, or whether it's negotiating for someone to come and work for him.
The word that I keep thinking of is respect.
It is. That's exactly it. In fact, that's really probably, I could have simplified everything I said by using that word, but the people who work for him really respect him. We don't think that we know more than he does. We just, in fact, we learn by him, and he just has a wonderful skill set.
I have a tremendous respect for him and admiration. When you look at his life story and what he's accomplished.
What's it like to work with Norbert? Year in, year out, decade in, decade out.
You can't do it without liking who you work for.
I learn from him every day.
And that's what I like about Norbert.
One of the things that have surprised me the most is the level of loyalty and long-term allegiance that I've been able to develop in people around me. It's, I understand the basic fundamentals that may bring that about, but still, at times I'm in awe of the fact that at the end of the year, I look at the list of people to be recognized for longevity with the companies that make up our group, and I'm sometimes really surprised, both surprised and amazed at the number of people that have been with one of our companies for 25 years, or 30 or 35 or 40 or 45 years. So in answer to your question, if anything has ever surprised me to a certain level, that would be it. Yeah. That bond and that level of loyalty has seemed to me to be rather amazing at times. And I believe that this company has a heart, has always had a heart, and has dealt with everyone in that manner.
There must have been times along the way that you might have been discouraged and thought about quitting. Did you ever have those thoughts?
When things were not going as well as I anticipated, it just meant that I needed to work harder and do more and figure out how to solve problems in a better manner.
Do you ever have fear at all, or that homesickness, or any doubt?
Well, of course, I experienced some questioning of what I was doing at certain points in time, but I never turned back. I always moved forward.
Norbert's passion for his businesses, his work, and his employees is clear. But let's talk about perhaps his most important passion and role, and that's father to his 4 children.
Now, what message would you have for your children, from your daughter to your young sons? What messages would you have for them about life?
What I hope the most for my children is that they should acquire a deep understanding of the importance of tolerance. So whatever they believe in, they expect to be respected, and likewise, they need to respect what everyone else believes in terms of religion, politics, and sports even.
What do you think your parents gave you, that when you think of your parents now, I know your dad's risk and courage?
What they gave me was a sense of responsibility, work ethics, and a sense of fairness.
intellectually, we all understand mortality, but emotionally, have you been able to deal with that, or how have you been able to?
I'm a born optimist. If I weren't, I would not have been able to do a lot of the things that I have done. So there are two sides to my makeup. One is this born optimism, and on the one hand, and then on the other hand, my ability to also be realistic.
I know that you're not one to be boastful about what you've accomplished, but what are you the most proud of?
Well, in terms of my business life, would be the fact that I was able to create these companies from zero, from scratch. That I was able to create employment for hundreds of families, and a sense of security and long-term continuity.
But what is your overall philosophy of life? And you hinted towards it when you said how your children would have tolerance, for others. But your philosophy of life, encompassing all of life.
Well, that's quite a question that you're asking. I would say to be the best human being that you can be in dealing with others, whether it be family or friends or business associates. Just to be the best human being that you can be. I have stopped working for money a long time ago. Because fortunately I have not needed to make more money. But I always needed a challenge. And I will always continue to need that. For as long as I live, I thrive on taking on challenges. That's what makes me tick. That's what makes me be who I am. On behalf of 450 some employees that make up the companies that we have presently in our group, and to their benefit and their families and my children. Those have been my objectives, and I think that I've achieved them. I feel really good about what I've done. No one, no matter how long they live, become all-knowing. There's always more to learn and more to experience. I just think that I did the best that I could with my life.